Hi, I'm Ted Saxon with nerdsthatdostuff.com. Hopefully this is the first of many shows where we will be informing the public about technology, how it's affecting your daily lives, and how it can make it better, and what people are doing in the community right now with technology and all around nerdy stuff. Maybe we'll see something get blown up. Maybe we'll see some cool robots. The sky's the limit on what we can do. Just want to keep it nerdy. So first off, I would like to talk a little bit about Nerds That Do Stuff. It is a company I started, and the primary purpose of it is to promote technology to International Falls, Minnesota. If you go to the website and check out articles, the articles link, there is plenty of information on there that's public interest. For example, we have an article written by a very, very intelligent local guy named Jacob Clarity, who wrote the article, How You Get Malware. And basically, it just says that you're the reason you get malware. Make sure you read what you're clicking on before you click accept. Because when you click a picture that's called notavirus.jpeg.exe, it's your own fault at that point if you get a virus. However, there's plenty of people in town, there's 4 computer shops in town that would be happy to help you out if that does happen to you. Now, I appreciate kcc-tv letting me have this show, and to show support for them, you can go to kcc-tv.org and print out their membership form, drop it off at Bacchus. They have a lot of great programming on KCC-TV that you really should be taking advantage of. Even if you don't have the cable, like I personally don't have, I just watch TV on the internet. It's all on kcc-tv.org, and you can check out their YouTube channel. If you have any questions you would like answered on the TV show, or you would like to be a special guest on the Nerds That Do Stuff TV show, make sure to contact me at nerdsthatdostuff@gmail.com. Be happy to get you on here, talk about how we can help you. Basically, you get some free tech support if you come here and you have any questions. For example, if you want to know how to upgrade to Windows 10, let me know. Come in here, we can sit down, show you how to upgrade to Windows 10. You can tell me how nerdy I am, and then you just got some free advice, and the public was more well informed for it. As part of the segments for the show, I'm going to have a part called Junior Nerds, where a young nerd from the community is going to be talking about something nerdy that's important to them. It could be tech toys, tech tips, what their school is doing that involves tech, how their friends are using it, pretty much anything nerdy that's happening. I have some tech tips for you today. I have an app of the day and a program of the day. The app will be on Android and Apple, and the program will be on the Windows computer. You'll see I'll share a lot of my screen with the camera at times, and it will be a Windows computer. If you're one of the few Mac users out there, you're probably nerdier than me, and you're gonna have to explain some of the stuff back to me if you need help. Let's start off with the first tip of the day, and that would be for tablets, which are growing in popularity as computers decline. I brought my tablet in. It's a 7-inch Android tablet, really nice. It's a little older, but the quality holds up. Now, what I would like to show you is this little thing right here, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, is called USB on the go, and it really can change the way you use your tablet, especially if you have a larger tablet that you want to substitute instead of using a laptop, such as the 10-inch tablets. All you do is plug this into your tablet if it has the USB outlet. And most tablets, especially 7 inches, is going to be the charging port as well. With my kcc-tv coffee cup, delicious. Nothing in there. Now, from this, you can do many things, and one thing that I like to do, especially if you get sick and tired of just touching your tablet, is you can plug in a mouse. Now, the mouse, it can be corded, but it doesn't have to be. In my case, I have a Logitech USB mouse that's wireless. You plug in the fob to the USB port, and you'll plug it in wrong the first time, flip it over, plug it in wrong again, and then flip it over, and finally you'll have it in the right way. I don't know who designed USB that way, but it always takes me 3 times to get it in there. And if it's dark and I'm trying not to wake anybody up in the house, it's even harder. I will take some screenshots of me using this here. You just saw my unlock code, so don't hack me. And your mouse is active. Now this is part of a combo package that you can get. And so it goes to one fob, and ta-da! You have a keyboard too that you can use. That's no problem. Simple, effective. You can't go wrong with the USB on the go. Another nice thing about it is you can take the fob out. I'm going to put it back in my computer so I don't lose it. That's the downside of these. They're great because they don't break off like they used to when wireless keyboards first came out. But now you'll lose them. I've lost about 3 of them. Matter of fact, I have another one plugged into my computer for a different mouse that I don't even know where it's at. Plug that back in. Alright. The next thing I'd like to show you with USB on the go is that you can transfer files fairly easy with it. I have a thumb drive here. It's got super important files on it. You're just going to plug it in. It expands your storage. See, I plugged it in the wrong way first, like I said I would. Then I'm going to plug it back in, and I got it right the second time. Second time's a charm in this case. And now it's going to ask me how I want to access the files. And you can put your pictures. If you're using your tablet to take pictures, you can transfer them over to your computer fairly simple this way. There are other things you can hook into this. Pretty much the sky's the limit. I use it as for my virtual reality, which I'll show on a different show, where I can plug this into it and then plug in a controller, and then I'm immersed in the game environment. It looks a little silly, but it's actually pretty cool. The only downside is if you're using it, you have something hanging off of your tablet. But in this case, my tablet doesn't have a slot to expand an SD card, and space is limited. 16 gigabytes is all this tablet has. Alright, and we're back to charging. It's that simple. Another thing, if you're like me, 6 o'clock rolls around and you've used your phone way too much and your battery's getting dead, another little tech tip that I have are buy these battery packs. They're fairly cheap. This one that I have, I believe I got it at Menards in town here. It was $10 and it holds 4,000 milliamp hours. If you want to know what milliamp hours is, I recommend Googling it because I don't completely know. Electricity is nerdy, but it's nerdier than me, perhaps. You take that, you can charge your phone. I made a laptop that I can show at a different time that runs off of this as a battery. It's just a homemade laptop with a screen. You take that, take your charger and plug it right in there, and now you got another 12 hours of battery. The only downside is you have this big thing in your pocket. I recommend if you do get one, get a small cord and just keep it in your car would probably be the best bet. That's how I do it. That way, if I do get down to that point, which happens all the time, I just plug it in and I'm good to go. Another thing that is unfortunate about it is you have to remember to charge it. So it's not idiot proof, I would say, but it's pretty close, and you can get these as cheap as $5. So as part of the program of the day feature, I would like to talk about what I believe maybe over 50% of the lack of computer knowledge in the area, what it's missing out on, if that's a non-intelligent way of saying that, is people just don't know how to use the file explorer on their computer. And if you can use the file explorer, you can do the majority of anything you need to do.
Once you open File Explorer, you'll see a layout similar to this. Yours could be a little different depending on what version of Windows you have. If you have Windows 7, 8, or 10, they're generally the same. The folder layout's been the same for a little while now, so it should be similar. What you'll see is click on this PC off to the left and a shortcut for the local disk drive C comes up. That's your hard drive that's in your computer. That's where all the stuff is stored on most computers. There's instances where there's other hard drives installed on the same computer, but your main one's going to be C. If you have any interest in knowing why it's called C, go to nerdsthatdostuff.com, click on the articles. There's a great article Jacob Clarity wrote about why it's called C. Basically, the floppy disks were A and B, so the next letter was C. I saved you some reading, but it's a hilarious article. I recommend reading it anyways. So I'm going to click on the C drive, and it will open up the next set of files. Now you'll see a set of files that are on the root of your C drive. That means it's the first set of folders that you're going to see. It has your program files on here and a bunch of other stuff that's important for your computer that if you don't know what it is, a good rule of thumb is don't touch it. But it is safe to go down to the users, which I have highlighted here, and open up that, and that'll bring up some of the user files. Now you see a list of users. I have two on my computer, Dell and Demonstration. The public folder that you see at the bottom is if you want to share files between users. The Windows makes it a little inconvenient to go into other users' files, and that's on purpose, obviously. If you're sharing computers, you don't want somebody accessing your file, especially if it's a public computer. But if it is something that you want somebody else who's using your computer to see, you can save it in the public folder, and anybody who has access to the computer has access to that file. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Dell username. That's the username I use for this computer. It's not very original. You'll see highlighted the pictures folder inside your users folder that we just navigated to. Inside your pictures folder, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pictures. It actually doesn't have to be pictures. You can put anything in there that you want, but your computer will save pictures there as a default, usually depending on the program you're using. There's also the documents folder where your computer will default to save most of the documents that you're going to create on your computer. If it's a Microsoft Word document or Excel, anything like that. I think even PowerPoint saves into it. So if you're looking for something that you saved and you don't remember where the heck you saved it at, I recommend starting in the documents. It's usually in there. There sometimes does sneak into the downloads folder because your computer will think that that's the last place you used if you were downloading something from the internet. So check documents, then downloads, and it's bound to be in one of those two places. Now, a lot of people who don't know about computers don't realize that when you log onto your computer and you see your home screen or your desktop, as it's called, that is not actually where the files are. They're stored in your users folder in the file called desktop, and then your computer knows to display those files onto your desktop. So, in a sense, they're kind of like shortcuts on your desktop, or that the desktop itself is just a huge way to view the desktop folder. Okay, to sum up the File Explorer, I would just say if you don't know what you're navigating to, be careful because there's a lot of things you can mess up in there. But it's also some of the easiest things to do if you even remotely know where you're going. Just picture it as a giant filing cabinet with folders that have folders inside of them, that have more folders inside of them, and even more folders inside of them, and then maybe a picture or two inside of that final folder. Just be careful while you're navigating. That's all I recommend.
Alright, so next up, we'll have our Junior Nerd section by Emma Saxton, who happens to be my daughter, so you know she's nerdy. And I think today she's going to be reviewing a tech toy that we actually picked up when we were on vacation at Mall of America. It's called Sphero, and when she gets a nerdy toy, it's usually because I want a nerdy toy. Kind of like watching cartoons with your kids. You secretly enjoy them. As long as it's not Dora trying to find the same thing the same way every show. I mean, where are her parents? I've heard of free range parenting, but I don't want my daughter to go to the Arctic by herself. That's just me. But I think Dora's parents probably need to be turned in to social services or the authorities.
I'm Emma Saxon doing a nerdsthatdostuff.com junior nerd video for you. Today I'm going to be showing you some cool tricks with Sphero. So, this is one of some of the basics of it.
So next up, we're going to cut to outside, where I'm going to be showing you how to take a very interesting photo with your cell phone camera or tablet, and it's called the photosphere. You can view them on your computer, and basically what it is if you've ever seen a virtual tour of a house, you can look around 360 and see what's behind the actual picture. You can see the ceiling, or if you're outside, the clouds. You can see the ground. I believe Bacchus has one that I took of their gymnasium, and it shows, if you click on it, the whole view of the Bacchus Auditorium from standing on the stage. This will come in handy if you are going to go out in nature and you've taken the same photo of the same part in Voyageurs National Park a million times. Let's add a special spin on it. And the way that it's put together, you can actually do some cool tricks with it. I have one where I took of my family where they're standing at 4 different spots all around, basically breaking the space-time continuum just by a photography trick.
All right, the first thing we're gonna go is change the type of picture we're gonna do with the Google camera. This is the first one I've done with this one. And it'll just guide you to where it needs to be. And you'll line up the blue dots. You'll see this is really gonna look amazing. Once it's going, the better your camera, the faster it'll line up the pictures and match them up. And then when it's all done, you will see the outcome. I chose Smokey Bear since it's pretty iconic to International Falls. Everybody's going to recognize it. All right, now we're going to go up to the next set. It looks like junk now, like they're just a bunch of pictures put together. But when we're all done, Google's going to work its magic, and it's going to look really good. We'll see how pointing it directly at the sun works to it. You'll get some sun rays that come off a little weird. It doesn't look terrible, it just doesn't look great. Sometimes it actually looks kind of nice, I guess. Okay, and down to the ground. A funny thing to know is that if you have your family or anybody run around while you're taking it, they can be everywhere in the picture all at once. It's kind of a fun little photo trick. There's my feet. We'll see if it crops them out or what the plan is there. And that's the last one. There. Now it'll be processing the photosphere, and we'll take a look at it. Processing photosphere still. Give it a second here. And where'd it go on me? Let's go into the Photos app by Google and see right here if it shows up. Hey, there's Emma, my daughter at Taekwondo. Should be the most recent. There it is. Click on the sphere, and you'll see how seamlessly it patched the pictures together. There's a 360-degree view of Smokey the Bear. It's not perfect, especially if there are lines. It doesn't line everything up perfectly, but overall, it does a pretty good job. You can also set it up after you do that on your tablet and stuff, if you choose to navigate, where it will get you while you're turning around. Right now I'm spinning around, looking up and everything, instead of scrolling with my finger. Well, that's a fast, easy way to get a 360-degree photosphere with just a smartphone. And again, it has to be the Google camera. And Google Camera app, I'm sure some of the other apps have this feature, but Google Camera is the one that I use and I found is the most intuitive.
Let's talk a little bit about upcoming nerdy events. If you go to nerdsthatdostuff.com, it has a couple nerdy events, but they're just ones that I'm involved in. I know at the new craft store in town, Hometown Hobby and Crafts, if you're into Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and nerdy stuff like that, they have something for you. I would stop in there and check it out, see what they're doing. Maybe we can get one of them on the show in the future and talk about their schedule. But if you have something nerdy that's going on in the community, a science fair, a competition you're having, and you'd like the Nerds That Do Stuff to come there and record it or interview you while you're displaying it, please get a hold of me at nerdsthatdostuff@gmail.com, and I will be happy to come there, put you on kcc-tv as part of my Nerds That Do Stuff show. It's completely free. All it is extra publicity to get the word out that there's nerds out there and we're not alone. One thing I would like to say that if you have something you want to know that is nerdy, that isn't related to computers or tablets or phones, for example, if you want to know something about science, something about engineering, something about math, or something about video games, make sure to email me at nerdsthatdostuff@gmail, and we can get a segment going on the Nerds That Do Stuff show where we can talk about what you want to talk about. I'll be more than happy to have more than just my imaginary friend here next time. And if you're interested in doing any kind of segment that is public interest, make sure to contact kcc-tv. You can, again, go there, as I said earlier on in the show, from kcc-tv.org, where you will find all the information on what's going on and how to watch other videos that are from the community. I know that they have a lot of sports stuff on there, and the program is just excellent. Fishing, they have a show dedicated to that. And if your thing is to sit down and watch city council meetings, and that's not exactly nerdy, but they have it on there, and they'd be more than happy to have you come to their website and explore all that they have to offer and see if you have any suggestions, questions on what can make KCC-TV better. But more importantly, I'd like to make the Nerds That Do Stuff show better. So any suggestions you have, let me know. Okay, well, thank you for tuning into the Nerds That Do Stuff TV show. I hope that I'll see you again. Tell your friends to watch it. Let's get some viewers going. And next week, we'll focus more on the community, opposed to an introduction about what we're going to be doing. Thanks for watching the first Nerds That Do Stuff show. And make sure to tune in next week. Tell your friends. Like it on YouTube. Subscribe. Follow KCC-TV on Facebook. And stay nerdy.